no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show presented by Magic Spoon. If you guys are looking for some healthy cereal, look no further than Magic Spoon. You can go and find them at magicspoon.com/Raiders, where you guys can save $5 off your very first order. On today's show, I'm going to be breaking down two players that I want the Raiders to go out and sign on the free agent market. And what position do they play? Slot cornerback. Why am I talking about the slot cornerback position? Because the latest report from Vic Tafur of The Athletic said, here are the top 3 slot corners that the Raiders are going to rock and roll with if the season were to start today. At number 1, Nevin Lawson. Number 2, the rookie Nate Hobbs out of Illinois. Number 3, Amik Robertson. The fact that Lawson is the starting cornerback right now for this team, it makes me want to throw up. Not because he's a terrible player, but because he's a below-average player. So for that reason, the Raiders need to go out and find a slot cornerback because I'm not watching Nevin Lawson get burnt the entire season. And if Lawson's out playing Nate Hobbs, and if he's out playing Amik Robertson, that's also a little bit worrisome. And the fact that the Raiders have already disregarded Damon Arnett, bottom line is this: I ain't watching Nevin Lawson the entire season in the slot. Therefore, the Raiders need to sign a slot corner. But, Mitch, how much money does the team have? Well, only $3.9 million as it stands right now. That's 29th most in the NFL. The Raiders still haven't signed Devon Diablo and Malcolm Koonce, both players who they drafted in the 3rd round. Diablo right now is battling a little bit of an injury, and Koonce actually is as well. Training camp starts July 27th. If you're going to go out and make a move, you got to make a move before July 27th. So the players that you're about to see on here are all moves that do need to happen before July 27th. Now, today's show, I'm telling you, if you guys haven't already tried Magic Spoon, you need to absolutely go ahead and do so. It's at magicspoon.com/Raiders. 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, only 140 calories per bowl, and 4 grams of net carbs. If you're trying to slim up because it's beach season, believe me, totally get you there. If you're trying to save a few dollars, again, I get you there. Go to magicspoon.com/Raiders. Link is in the comments, and it's in the description down there below. But people always ask me, like, Mitch, what was your favorite cereal growing up as a kid? If you want to go down in the comments, let me know what your favorite cereal was growing up as a kid, please go ahead and do so. And I'm not saying that cereal doesn't taste good, but imagine being able to find good-tasting cereal that's actually healthy for you. So if you want to go out and try their variety pack, you can get a box of 4. You can mix and match with your flavors, whatever ones you want. If you're a diehard fan of Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops, you got to try their fruity cereal. If you like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, go get the peanut butter kind. Cocoa Puffs. Try Magic Spoon's cocoa flavor. It's absolutely have you saying, I'm in love with the cocoa. What about cinnamon? I was a big-time fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Hell, I still eat it sometimes. But this brand, much healthier. Frosted. Like, in terms of Frosted Flakes, totally are going to change the game. Frosted Mini Wheat tastes just like it. And then the Blueberry Crunch, I believe it was like Crunch Berry or something like that. It tastes just like that. If you guys don't even know, there's usually 26 grams of sugar per bowl. You get 500 calories per bowl and one bowl of cereal. This stuff, you're going to be able to eat a lot more of it, and it tastes great, and you can stay healthy. So if you guys could, please show some love to Magic Spoon. All you got to do is comment Raider Nation for life and tag at Magic Spoon on Instagram. So go to my latest IG post, show them some love, show them how Raider Nation gets down, and we're going to start giving some shout-outs here on the Raiders Report. So the very first player that I want the Raiders to go out and pick up the phone and try to get, it's Brian Poole, because he's the best slot corner on the market. I don't care what anybody says out there. Richard Sherman might be the best overall corner, but you know what? Brian Poole's a better slot corner. That's the reason why I want this guy on my team. He finished the 2020 season on IR with a shoulder injury, which definitely is a little bit worrisome. But all the reports indicate that he's going to be 100% healthy, that he's going to be ready to rock and roll. And in terms of being able to play slot, I'm looking for a guy that is elite in coverage. That's exactly what Poole is, and he's actually halfway decent against the run as well. And the fact that he missed literally 7, I think he played in 7 games, missed 9. I believe that's what it was. Still had 44 tackles, 2 INTs, and 7 pass breakups. He's 213 pounds. He's still only 28 years old. And if you could bring him in on a 1-year cheap deal, I'm 100% open to it. The other reason why I'm more open to Brian Poole is because a lot of the defense that he's played on in the past have been dumpster fires, and he has still been able to perform, which is obviously something that I want to see in a lot of my players out there. So in 2016 as a rookie, that's a pretty damn good rookie season. 2017 came down to earth a little bit more. 2018 had 3 INTs, 74 tackles. 2019 had a phenomenal year. And then 2020, before he got hurt, had another great and incredible year. But if you want to talk about all these disastrous pieces on this Jets team, one guy that showed up every single week, which deserves a lot of credit saying, is Brian Poole. So look at these numbers here in 483 snaps last season, according to Pro Football Focus. A 77.1 overall grade. I mean, that's top 20 at his position. Run defense grade, 69.8. Pass and rush, 49.7. Coverage grade, 79.5. But how many of us watching the show right now are sick and tired of watching some running back or tight end get down the seam or over the middle? Or you just see some random guy like LaMarcus Joyner, and you're like, what the hell is that guy doing? I want a slot corner that can cover. I don't want Nevin Lawson. So over the last 5 years, here are his overall grades and his coverage grades. Sure, for Atlanta, was a little bit spotty in there. That's okay. What I'm really concerned about is how he was able to take that next step with the New York Jets. Overall grade in 2019, 79. Coverage grade, 80. 2020, 77.1. Coverage grade, 79.5. If you can figure out a way to get Brian Poole on this team, you need to go ahead and do it. When I crunch a lot of my numbers, when I see a lot of the other contracts that come through, I'm thinking Poole's going to be somewhere around $4 million a year. When I see a contract like Anthony Harris making $5 million, when Casey Hayward's making about $3.5, $4 million is where Brian Poole is probably going to be, and it's probably only going to be for a one-year deal because that's what NFL free agents want to sign. One-year deal, and then when the cap goes up next season, they can make more money. So 1 year, $4 million, would you make this deal happen for the Las Vegas Raiders? If you're like, you know what, Mitch? Yeah, it's a position of need. For $4 million for 1 year, that's something I would do. I want you to type your Y for yes. If you're like no, you can type your N for no, but the only way that really makes a lot of sense is if you're really confident. You know what? Pinned comment, this is what it's going to be. Should the Raiders sign Brian Poole? Y for yes or N for no. If the Raiders do go out and they make this happen, this is a pretty sexy secondary as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Mullen as your left cornerback. He could actually also play right depending on where you want to put him. Merritt can be your free safety. Jonathan Abram can be your strong safety. Brian Poole is going to be your nickel back. And then Casey Hayward. That's 5 reliable pieces there, and that's something that I really have not been able to say in a very, very long time. So the fact that Brian Poole's there as the nickel spot, if the Raiders do pull off a move and they do go ahead and they sign Poole, well, then I don't want you to miss it. So how do you make sure that you don't miss it? You subscribe to the Raiders Report. Not only do you subscribe, there's a bell underneath the video. You click that bell, that means your notifications are going to be turned on. So if the Raiders do pull off a move, and you're talking to one of your buddies a week from now, you're like, man, I really wish the Raiders would sign Brian Poole. And your buddy's like, dude, they already did it. Don't be that guy, because that's going to happen to a lot of people in the offseason. To make sure it doesn't happen, hit that big red button that says subscribe. The other player that I think the Raiders should at least pick up the phone and call, Nickell Robey-Coleman. Now, he's coming off a little bit of a down year with the Philadelphia Eagles, but plan A, Brian Poole. Plan B, giggity, is Nickell Robey-Coleman. He was a top 20 corner in 2018 and 2019. Not just slot corner, overall corner. That's how good he was with the Los Angeles Rams. But in terms of a cheaper option, I do actually think that Roby is going to be cheaper than Brian Poole because he is coming off a little bit of a down year with the Philadelphia Eagles. When I watched the Eagles last year, I got a lot of Eagles friends. You know, I even got a guy here at the studio that likes the Eagles. They were kind of a dumpster fire last year. They were a really hard team to be able to watch. So maybe he's actually a very good player because when you put him with good players, he plays well. When you put him on a bad defense, he doesn't play so well. And some of these numbers definitely indicate that. I mean, the 2 years that he was, I guess I should say 3 years, he was sensational, whereas 3 years with the Rams, I mean, Miles, right? Like, Miles, I believe, would be able to coach up Coleman so well, and he would be able to fit in this scheme like you wouldn't believe. But in 2020 was really his down year. But if you want to look at his overall and coverage stats from PFF, because, again, I want a nickel corner, knock on wood if you're with me, that can actually cover people. 2017, an 83.7 coverage grade, 81.3 in 2018, 74.1 in 2019. Sure, those numbers are going down, but I'm not going to look at 2020 and be like, oh, he's getting old. Dude's only 28 years old. Please tell me why he can't go back to being a good corner. And according to Pro Football Focus's latest slot cornerback rankings, Brian Poole ranked in the top 5, Nickell Robey-Coleman ranked in the top 10 of all corners in the NFL. Something to think about. So if we could go out and get him for like $2 million a year, that's something that I would definitely be interested in, right? Because if you can go out and get him for $2 million, that's the type of contract I think that he's ultimately going to bring in due to the age, due to a lot of other players out there, and the fact that you can either get Poole for 4 or Nickell Robey-Coleman for 2, I think both of those are pretty good deals. So how about this? Would you guys either rather get Poole or would you rather sign Nickell Robey-Coleman? So sign Poole for $4 million, type BP, or would you sign Coleman for $2 million? I want you to go down in the comment section, so type BP for Brian Poole or NRC for Nickell Robey-Coleman.